Egypt's foreign ministry says Palestinian self-determination is a historic right. Egypt's House Speaker says Egypt helped secure the Gaza ceasefire. And Cameroon's ambassador says Egypt plays a pivotal role in supporting Africa at a critical moment for the continent. The news in detail. Egypt affirmed that the Palestinian rights to self-determination and the establishment of an independent state along the June 4, 1967 borders with East Jerusalem as its capital is not merely a political demand but a historical entitlement supported by international legitimacy and guarded by the conscience of humanity. The Egyptian Ministry of Foreign Affairs, on the occasion of the International Day of Solidarity with the Palestinian people, noted that Egypt will continue its close coordination with the United States and regional partners to ensure the full implementation of President Trump's peace plan and to advance the mechanisms associated with it in a manner that preserves Palestinian rights and serves the stability of the region. Egypt's Foreign Minister Badr Abdulati has arrived in Islamabad for talks with senior Pakistani officials and business leaders. The Foreign Minister, who also oversees migration and Egyptian expatriates affairs, is due to hold a series of bilateral meetings during his visit to Pakistan's capital. Discussions are expected to focus on strengthening Egyptian-Pakistani relations, expanding cooperation with major Pakistani companies, and exchanging views on key regional and international developments. Egypt's House Speaker Hanafi Al-Gibali says Egypt's efforts helped secure an agreement to stop the war in Gaza, rejecting any plan to divide the Strip or displace its people. Speaking at the opening session of the Parliamentary Assembly of the Union for the Mediterranean Forum and the Summit of Speakers, Al-Gibali said Egypt's intensive efforts culminated in an agreement to halt the war in Gaza. He stressed Egypt's firm rejection of any attempt to partition the Strip or forcibly displace its residents, warning against measures that would undermine Palestinian rights and regional stability. Egypt's Grand Mufti Nazir Ayad says the International Day of Solidarity with the Palestinian people should be a moral call for the world to confront Palestinians suffering under Israel's blockade and repeated attacks. In remarks marking the day, Ayad said the occasion must not be symbolic but a reminder of the international community's responsibility towards a people, he said, burdened by hardship. He described Palestinians' experience as a living testimony to the world's urgent need for a just balance, one that does not bend to power and does not abandon the oppressed, as Gaza continues to face severe humanitarian conditions. Egypt has won a seat on the International Maritime Organization Council for the 2026 to 2028 term following elections at the IMO headquarters in London. Officials say Egypt secured membership of the IMO Council after receiving 132 votes in elections held at the organization's London headquarters. The result was described as reflecting global recognition and international confidence in Egypt's role in maritime navigation and shipping as Cairo seeks to strengthen its standing in international maritime governance and shipping policy. Egypt's public business sector minister Mohammed Shimi has met Algeria's Prime Minister Saifi Gharib to discuss investment cooperation with a focus on strategic partnership in pharmaceuticals. Shimi said expanding cooperation with Algeria, especially in the pharmaceutical sector, could open the door to joint projects supporting local production of medicines and medical supplies. He highlighted the role of Egypt's holding company for pharmaceuticals, which is affiliated with the Ministry of Public Business Sector, as a platform for deeper industrial collaboration. The talks were framed as part of broader efforts to strengthen bilateral ties and boost investment between the two countries. Cameroon's ambassador to Cairo, Dr. Mohamedou Labarange, says Africa is at a turning point that requires stronger intra-African coordination to face development and security challenges, stressing Egypt's pivotal role in supporting Africa on the international stage. Labarange, the dean of the African Ambassadors Group, was speaking at the conference hosted by Al Ahram Ebdo in Cairo under the patronage of Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli and the National Press Authority chairman. The event, themed "The Africa We Want, Integration and Partnership for the Future," coincided with Al Ahram's 150th anniversary. Labarange said Africa's human and natural wealth needs better investment through infrastructure, education and economic integration. He urged African states to act as one bloc amid global competition, backed entrepreneurship and youth access to finance and technology. Instead, Egypt's approach is built on true partnership across the continent. Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli says completing projects to revive historic Cairo is a cornerstone of building Egypt's new republic, balancing modernization with protecting heritage. Madbouli said the project to restore and revive historic Cairo represents a new cornerstone in building the new republic. He stressed the work is driven by a clear vision built on two pillars: achieving modernity that keeps pace with the global development across sectors, while preserving Egypt's heritage and civilizational landmarks left by generations throughout history. He said the approach aims to upgrade services and urban quality without compromising the character and identity of historic area. Egypt's Nuclear Power Plants Authority says the nuclear program supports Egypt's Climate Strategy 2050 and development goals, with the Daba a top priority to deliver on schedule. Speaking at the Young Scientists Forum in Sushi, Sharif Helmi said Egypt's nuclear program aligns with the National Climate Change Strategy 2050 and that nuclear power is critical for economic and industrial development. He said the current focus is completing the Al Daba nuclear project on schedule while tracking global advances in small modular reactors. Helmi also highlighted the installation of the reactor pressure vessel for Unit 1 as a major milestone, saying it reflects strong political backing in Egypt and Russia, with the event attended remotely by President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi and the Russian President via video link. Egypt's National Railways says it has operated the 35th train under the Voluntary Return Project, transporting Sudanese nationals returning to Sudan. The Railways Authority said the project is dedicated to facilitating the return of Sudanese nationals to their homeland, adding the total beneficiaries have reached 33,516 passengers so far. Officials said the initiative reflects Egypt's supportive stance towards Sudan's unity and stability and underscores the deep-rooted ties between the two countries as Egypt continues to provide humanitarian and logistical support to Sudanese communities. Jordan's Travel and Tourism Agents Association says Egypt remains a top destination for Jordanians year-round, citing its variety of attractions and rich heritage. Association President Mohammed Al-Khawasna said Egypt continues to draw Jordanian visitors across all seasons, pointing to its diverse tourism products and historic sites. He said many trips are for holidays and leisure visits to archaeological landmarks and cultural experiences. He added there is also rising interest among Jordanians in new tourism segments that Egypt now offers competitively, expanding beyond traditional sightseeing. Egypt's health ministry says more than 3.6 million pregnant women have received comprehensive free medical screening nationwide under a state initiative. The ministry said the program focuses on early detection of diseases that can be transmitted from mother to fetus while providing immediate treatment and full follow-up care. It added that services are offered free of charge through healthcare units across the country as part of efforts to strengthen maternal health and improve outcomes for mothers and newborns. Suez Canal Authority Chairman Osama Rabia has met Greece Onyx Shipyard's CEO in Athens to discuss shipbuilding training and converting vessels to one on cleaner fuel. Rabia held talks with Panos Xenokostas, CEO of Greece Onyx Shipyard, on potential cooperation in shipbuilding and repair, workforce training, and retrofitting vessels to operate on clean fuel. The meetings took place on the sidelines of the 14th Arab-Greek Economic Forum in Athens. Rabia also met Arab and Greek business leaders to showcase Suez Canal Authority companies' capabilities, including maritime infrastructure, port development, and related projects. Egypt Agriculture Minister Ala Farouk says agricultural exports have reached about 8.5 million tons, up nearly 700,000 tons on the same period last year. Farouk said citrus remains Egypt's top agricultural export at around 2 million tons. Fresh potatoes follow at about 1.3 million tons, with sweet potatoes third at an estimated 310,000 tons. The minister said the overall rise reflects continued growth in export volumes as Egypt expands access to markets and scales up supply chains for key crops. Minister of Petroleum Karim Badawi inspected the implementation status of the soda ash and derivatives production project at the industrial zone in the New Alamein city. The minister emphasized the strategic importance of the project, noting that it represents a significant added value to the Egyptian economy by localizing the production of materials used in various industries, including glass and detergents. That brings us to the end of our news bulletin from Egypt. But before we wrap up, here is a recap of the top stories making headlines this hour. Egypt's foreign minister says Palestinian self-determination is a historic right. Egypt's House Speaker says Egypt helped secure the Gaza ceasefire. And Cameroon's ambassador says Egypt plays a pivotal role in supporting Africa at a critical moment for the continent. For more stories and live updates, follow Qnews on YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, and TikTok. Qnews EGY. From all of us here, many thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more news and analysis on Qnews.